The Handmaid's Tale has now officially ended following the release of Season 6, Episode 10. After what was an eventful penultimate episode last week, I was slightly concerned about how the finale would go, especially since Episode 9 turned out to be one of the highest-rated episodes the show has ever produced. However, the show didn't let us down with this finale. Picking up around 19 days after the deaths of Nick, Lawrence, and the other commanders on board the plane, we saw every character's story arc wrap up with some form of closure, except for Hannah's. But there's symbolic meaning behind that, which I'll get to. Without making you wait any longer, let's dive into the video and discuss the finale of the show. Here is The Handmaid's Tale. Season 6, Episode 10, Ending Explained. Just a heads up, this video contains spoilers. June's ending. Boston had officially become part of the United States again, with the army reclaiming the territory from Gilead. However, Gilead as a nation was still strong due to its control over several other states. Throughout the finale, it felt like June was carrying two major thoughts, one about Nick and the weight of his death, and the other about Hannah, her main motivation throughout the entire series. June was reliving her love story with Nick, feeling a sense of responsibility for his death. While she told herself that he reaped what he sowed, the emotional weight of having loved him deeply still lingered. That kind of loss doesn't go away easily. With Boston now free, June was determined to find Hannah. A memory flashed back to a time at a carnival before Gilead, when she temporarily lost Hannah. Upon finding her, she said, "Mommy's always come back." They always come back. Remember? That line hit especially hard, symbolizing June's enduring perseverance and the unbreakable bond between mother and daughter. With Hannah still several liberated states away, Massachusetts, New York, Ohio, Colorado, and then Hannah, June's mission was far from over. As she once said, liberating Boston wouldn't be the end, just the beginning of the end, and that sentiment rang true. We saw her mourning not just Nick, but the distance from Hannah, especially when she held Noah for Serena or watched Janine reunite with Charlotte. It wasn't jealousy, but a yearning for that same moment. June found out that Commander Mackenzie had been promoted and was moving in with his wife, and Hannah. Although they weren't reunited, this meant Hannah was now 2,000 miles closer than before, a step in the right direction. June and Serena shared a powerful moment of closure. June actually forgave her, something I didn't expect. But this showed her willingness to move on from the trauma, and to be fair, Serena did help in the end by exposing the commander's trip to D.C., effectively helping Boston fall. By the end, June had reignited her desire to keep fighting. Even though Holly and her mother were now safe in Boston, she chose to keep working with Mark to liberate more states and reunite families. She understood the pain of missing a child and wanted no other parent to experience that. Her line to Holly, "You don't have to be near Mommy to feel her love. It'll find you no matter where you are," wasn't just a message for Holly. It was also a reflection of how June had hoped Hannah felt her love, even in absence. In the final third of the episode, June was told to write about her experience in Gilead, not just as horror, but as a story of resilience. That's why we saw her walk toward the house where it all started, holding a recorder and saying, "A chair, a table, a lamp? There's a window with white curtains. The glass is shatterproof, but it isn't running away they're afraid of." And this line straight from the novel marked the beginning of her next chapter, telling her story. June also imagined holding Hannah's hand, a symbolic moment reflecting the two powerful lines she said in this episode, "Mommy's always come back," and "You don't have to be near Mommy to feel her love." June's story isn't over. She's still searching, still fighting for Hannah and for justice. Thank God Janine finally got a happy ending. At the start of the episode, she was held captive in Gilead, and I feared the worst. But Aunt Lydia found her and arranged for her to be taken to the Gilead border, where she was released. Janine was reunited with Charlotte after Naomi surprisingly handed her over. I was shocked Naomi switched sides so quickly, but Aunt Lydia's influence may have played a part. Aunt Lydia's final line, "Take good care of our Janine, will you?" was delivered in that signature captivating tone. June's response, "Blessed is the woman who does not walk in step with the wicked," showed how far Lydia had come. Watching Aunt Lydia walk off into the mist after her transformation was a fitting end for her character. What did you think of the finale? Share your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.